Hello students, we are going to learn about learning and adaptation. So what is meant by learning and adaptation? So in the neural networks, as we discussed earlier, the neural network will learn first, then only it will adapt. Okay, so any task or any complex task, what it will do? First it will learn, it will train, then only it will test. So the learning and adaptation is very important and it is a basic characteristics for biological and neural networks or artificial neural networks. So coming to this, all the soft computing techniques basically related to the neurons, artificial neural networks will always follow the learning and adaptation. So what are the different types of learning we have? So learning in neural networks, basically we have three types: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced. Coming to the supervised, if you take a classroom example, so in the class you will have a subject teacher, they will guide you, they will explain you everything, they will train you. Exactly, the word is train you. But coming to the self-learning phase where you don't have any trainer, only you have to learn on your own and you have to complete your task or a module. So in the first case, you'll have some guidance will be there. So that particular learning is called as supervised learning, where you'll have the input. For each and every input, there will be expected output. So you'll have the input and output pairs. So what you will do? First, you will train the input, you will implement it, or you will test it. You will have an output pair where you'll say that for one, you should get output as two. So that will be there in the supervised learning. And during the training also, we are training the network in such a way that whenever you are giving input as one, it should give output as two. So your parameters, you are adjusting the parameters like weights or whatever the biases we're using, that will be trained accordingly. So the common algorithms for supervised learning is backpropagation and its variables. So what is a supervised learning? Supervised learning is nothing much. We'll have some set of inputs and what are the predicted outputs or expected outputs will be given prior when we start the algorithm. Okay, so on the other side, unsupervised learning. So in unsupervised learning, you don't have any output. Okay, we will not have any explicit output labels. We don't know what will be the output. Only you'll have the input. You have to train yourselves and you have to implement. So what happens here? You have to discover new patterns. We will have different type of structures. Okay, so we don't have any guidance over the supervised learning. So all these things will be tried on the learning itself, then we'll go for the adaptation. So examples of the unsupervised learning are clustering, dimensionality reduction, SOM, that is self-organizing maps are the example. So here, only the thing we have to remember that we don't have any expected output or explicit output. So we should only get the output with the provided input data. Next, the third category is related to reinforcement learning. So what we are doing here, so it involves training of the network in an environment in order to maximize the rewards. So whenever you are giving some input, you will get some output. So if the output will have some any error, they will get the penalty. If the output is not having any errors, they will get rewards. So always we have to try to increase the rewards, not to increase the penalties. So this will be there in the reinforcement learning. Here also we don't have the specified output. Only the thing is they will check whether the output is up to the mark. They will give reward. If it is not up to the mark, they will give penalty. So always we have to try to reduce the penalties. And examples of these are Q learning and deep Q learning networks. So these are the examples for your reinforcement learning. Now, what is meant by adaptation? So after learning, we have to implement those. So what are the different types of adaptations? How we are going to adapt it? How we are going to learn? So this will comes, first one is your online learning. So we can go for online, we have so many sources. From there, we can adapt all these things. So instead of retraining a complete network from the scratch, what you'll do, you'll have the online learning algorithms, which will be the scratch for your base for your model. Okay, instead of starting from the starting stage, you can change it. So you are adapting the existing algorithms or existing network. So instead of retraining the entire network, you can start from there. So this is one type of adaptation. Second one is transfer learning. It will help us to improve the performance. Okay, so from the learned features, we are taking some network and we are adapting the new task. So previously, we took the domain, basic one, then we'll transfer here. Third one is dynamic architecture. You can create recurrent neural networks. Like already dynamic architectures are available. We can use them for our architecture. Next, meta learning. So it is give the complete neural network information so that you can create your own network. Okay. So meta learning means already network will be there. It will give knowledge to understand the network. Finally, learning and adaptation involves in the neural networks in order to gain the complete knowledge about the model and use or implement in your task. Thank you.